What's going on, everyone? So this is my week 6 video for, I guess I should say it's my reaction video. So I went 8-6 this week. This is the first week that we've had bye weeks for teams, and I have to say there were a couple teams that really screwed up my picks here, but still with a winning record, so that's the good thing. Let's start off with the Thursday night football game, which I did not watch because it looked like it would be pretty boring, and sure enough, Thursday night football has failed again. But I did get the game correct. So we saw an injured Carson Wentz against the Bears, and the Bears played absolutely horrible, which makes me happy because we play them next week. The Patriots play them next week on Monday Night Football. And even all injured, the Commanders were still good enough to beat the Bears by a little bit. And the Bears offensively are just atrocious. Their defense is pretty solid, but offensively they're horrible. So that was a win. Next let's jump right into the Patriots at Browns. This game was a must-win for us, and I thought it would be a pretty good test to see how good Zappy really is, and he really played well. Over 300 yards passing, 2 passing touchdowns, but the most important thing, 0 interceptions. He did have a fumble, but that was from a strip sack. Our offensive lineman, Isaiah Wynn, has not been playing well, so he did get benched after that. And the Patriots looked really good, well coached. The running game was great. Ramondre Stevenson got me many more fantasy points. So it was a great day to be a Patriots fan. And I'm hoping that we can win next week against the Bears and turn our record into a winning one. Will Zappy be starting? Will Mac be starting? That is the question. I think Mac will probably start, but hey, you never know. Wouldn't be the first time a backup started over a starter in New England. So, next we have a game that did mess up my picks, and that was the 49ers at Falcons. I'm telling you, I've been saying all year long, the Falcons are not a horrible team, and Mariota is a good quarterback. I think he gets a lot of hate, but he's a good quarterback. What I didn't expect was for the 49ers defense to not really pressure him as much as I thought they would. So I thought the 49ers would win this game because they would shred the Falcons' offensive line, which has not been very helpful for Mariota. And I thought the 49ers defense would be okay I thought their offense would be okay because the Falcons' defense has been horrible all year. Well, it was a pretty simple 28-14 game. The Falcons just outplayed the 49ers, and Jimmy didn't play all that great. But hey, Falcons are 3-3 now, so they're right up there, tied for first place in their division. Next up, we have another game, and this is one of the games that really, I didn't expect it to go like this. That's the Jets over the Packers. The Packers are really in trouble, losing to both New York teams, but how about the Jets' defense? They are legit. The offense, I don't know, but the defense is legit. But 27-10 in Green Bay, what is going on? So the Jets are now 4-2, and I couldn't expect that to happen. This next game was kind of a toss-up, but I was in the mood to pick the away teams. So the Jaguars at the Colts. I thought I could go either way, but I went with the Jaguars. I thought their defense would be a little better. It wasn't really. I mean, I don't know. It was a kind of a back-and-forth game, it seemed like. They were ahead most of the game, but hey, Matt Ryan somehow pulled out another one, and the Colts are now with a winning record themselves. So Colts win that game 34-27, and the Jaguars dropped to 2-4. Next we have the Vikings at the Dolphins. This game was closer than I thought it would be. I thought it would be more of a blowout, but Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. But he's also 5-1, so give him credit for that. Vikings are 5-1, which is nice for them because they are now 2 games in first place in their division. And they are technically the number 2 seed in the NFC, right? So, not sure what it's going to look like next week for the Dolphins. Tua may be starting. But yeah, another win for the Vikings. I did get that game correct. I just thought it would be more of a win for the Vikings, but a win's a win. Doesn't matter. Bengals over Saints, 30-26. I did pick the Bengals for this game, but I thought it would be a high-scoring game, and it was. The Saints' offense has not really looked horrible all year, but their defense is. And the Bengals were able just to pull through, just barely, just like they were against the Dolphins. So now the Bengals are 3-3. They're hanging on where they need to be. They're going to have to keep it rolling. They've got a tough schedule, and if they want to get anywhere back near the playoffs where they were last year, they're just going to have to keep stringing these wins together. Next, we have the Ravens at the Giants, and this is a game I really thought the Ravens were going to win and show everybody that the Giants are frauds, and the opposite kind of happened. The Giants' defense played spectacular, and the Ravens, for like the maybe the third time this year, have not been able to close out a game. So that makes them a tough team to pick. This next game, I also got wrong, and so did the majority of people. The Steelers over the Buccaneers. Who would have thought? But you know what? That Buccaneers O-line was letting everybody through. So, unfortunately, for me and anybody else that picked the Buccaneers, the O-line wasn't giving us any favors. But still a shock. So 20-18, Steelers won. Some games, I don't know how you would predict that, but it happened. So let's just move on. But the Buccaneers are now 3-3, so that's interesting too. Panthers at Rams. This is a game that actually turned out the way I thought it would. Pretty easy win for the Rams, and they're just gonna have to keep fighting in their division too. This next game I thought could definitely go the Seahawks' way, but like I said before, I was picking the away teams, so I thought the Cardinals would win this because it would be a must-win. Nope, the Seahawks won. Geno Smith played well enough again, and I don't know what's going on with Kyler Murray. I know he gets DeAndre Hopkins next week, but it may be too late at this point. 9 points against the Seahawks defense, not going to cut it. All right, next up we have the game of the week. And as Tony Romo said, it was a 24-20 type of game. And I did pick the Bills for this game. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe myself that I picked the Bills, but I did. And the reason was because I think they're just a little better all around, but especially their defense. It's a slim margin, but I think they are. So Bills came away with a win, 24-20. And this is probably going to be the AFC Championship, but we'll see what happens. Now we have the Cowboys at the Eagles, and I did pick the Eagles for this game, and they were able to pull it out. Cooper Rush threw 2 interceptions. Didn't play well. Dak should probably be back next week, so we'll see how that goes. And the Eagles are still undefeated, 6-0. I hate to see it, but it's there. And then finally, we have the Broncos at the Chargers. I heavily picked the Chargers for this game, and they did not lead once in the game, except for when they won. So if you didn't watch the game, because it was a little bit boring, it was pretty back and forth, but the Broncos did maintain the lead the entire game through field goals. The player of the game is honestly Dustin Hopkins, the kicker for the Chargers, because he was playing through injury, and he was like 3 for 3 or 4 for 4, I think. I think he was 4 for 4 from 35, 39, however many yards. Somewhere between 30 and 40 yards. So he made all his kicks impressive enough. The Chargers are 4-2. But that was a tough game. Mike Williams got locked down, and they were without Keenan Allen. Eckler didn't have too much of a game. He had one really good touchdown run, but they held him down for the most part. I did underestimate the Broncos' defense. They were very solid, but the offense just could not do a thing. Melvin Gordon got benched because of his fumbling for the most part, and it was rough to watch. But because of a muff punt, the Chargers got the ball back with like 2 minutes in overtime, and they were already in field goal range. So we'll see what happens next week, but that is my reaction to this week. 8-6. See you next time.